Hey there, Matt Payne here from Amber Pass. At Amber Pass, we're all about giving you more time to spend in your community, time for yourself, doing what you love, what you got into this business for in the first place. Today, we're going to be exploring the use of advanced technology to help out with something that a lot of wellness owners spend time on, and that is workshop planning or planning for events that are coming up that you're hosting for your community. So, with three simple steps today, I'm going to give you a way to reclaim a good percentage of that time that you would spend doing a lot of the research, a lot of the planning activity, so that you can really focus on your community and your time. Those three things are how to get started, firstly. Second, what you should expect when it comes to the amount of work that can be done by these new advanced tools. And third, once you have the base plan done, how these tools can be used to help you get the message out and to build momentum for your event. I'm looking forward to spending some time with y'all and look forward to connecting again soon. Take care. All right. Well, let's get right into it. As I mentioned, we're going to be using today a product called Manus, a very powerful tool for creating our workshop planning information and document, and something that we can then take forward from there. One of the challenges often is how to get started with some of these powerful tools like Manus. One of the tricks I like to use is to actually use another AI tool or piece of technology, such as ChatGPT, to create the prompt that I'll use with Manus or a product like Manus to actually create something. And it's a really nice way to complement and compare things. So I'm going to do that today for this. I'm just going to use ChatGPT. We'll come back to manus.im in a moment, and I'll include all these links in the description of the video so you can easily access them, including the prompts I'm using today. So over in ChatGPT, again, very plain language oriented. So I'm simply trying to describe what's going on here. So I'll get ChatGPT going on the creation of the prompt that I'll ultimately use over in Manus to create the documentation that we're looking for. So again, this is a basic free level license with ChatGPT where I can enter in this type of request for assistance in creating a new prompt. The prompt is simply a set of instructions and descriptions that a tool like Manus can use to create what we're looking to achieve. This is all about time saving. It's all about giving you back more time to spend on the things that you love about your business, being in the community that you serve, and giving back more there. So Manus will run that after I give it the prompt. So I'm going to fire this off with ChatGPT to create the initial prompt. So as you can see, ChatGPT is starting to understand the request that's been made. It's then giving me updates on how it's progressing, and it's already completed the documentation. So quite easy from here. I can simply copy this using this little toggle here and pop this over into Manus. So again, manus.im is the platform that we're going with today. Again, there's many different platforms you can use. And one of the things I want you to take away today is not trying to find the perfect one, because there's many different solutions out there. What I would encourage you to do is try, get started, take some action, figure out what works best for you, and keep going. So now that I'm in Manus, I'm going to take the prompt that again was created from ChatGPT. I'm going to paste that in here. Let's see here. I can just paste that quite easily. And from here, you'll start to see the inner workings of Manus as it's going through and understanding what's happened. And then it starts to give us information about which tasks it's working on and in progress along the way. you'll hear terms like agents or agentic AI. The simplest way that I like to think about it is these tools understand different skills and different tasks that need to be completed. And they also understand that there are different strengths of agents or these entities when completing the work. And so what it does is it breaks the pieces of work down into parts and allows it to construct information, research, design in a way that is very efficient and effective. And again, you get the updates in real time, how it's progressing, all of the details. You can kind of see what's happening in real time. And it, depending on the level of the task that you've given to Manus, that will determine what length is. Sometimes these types of tasks could run 4 or 5 minutes. I've done deeper research tasks that take upwards of 20 minutes to complete. And you can imagine it goes beyond there. You can also see that Manus has given us a breakdown of the different areas that are being evaluated to build up the ultimate outcome. If you notice something along the way that was starting to divert from the original intention, it'd be quite easy to stop that or to add some additional context or a follow-up prompt for Manus or some other type of advanced technology to help you. So we'll give that a bit more time. And again, because of the prompt that we provided, again, looking back at the original prompt that we started with for ChatGPT, we made it very clear that for things that are actually about running the event or contacting people, we want to handle it ourselves. At this point, we're not wanting to automate everything. Maybe at some point in the future we would. But right now it's about getting that initial plan and set of activities outlined. So we'll check back in over here with Manus and see how it's going. So I can now see that it's moved on to the second task within the set of 3 areas that it identified for this particular activity. All right, I can now see that Manus has moved on to the third task here in the set of activities that we requested. So making some good progress. All right, so here we go. The complete yoga workshop logistics plan, including a set of 6 venues that compared, a initial agenda, run of show for a 5-hour event, a grouping of supplies and things that I'll need to keep an eye on as I look to plan the event, and a set of some budget feedback based on my requested kind of cap. So the document here, there's a few different formats you can see. What we'll do is we'll initially just take a look at the content that's been provided. We can click preview here to see a little pop-up of the information that was created. I love to do this to simply determine if there's anything missing before I take any steps from here. So I'm reviewing down. I'd asked about a table to do some comparisons. Looks like we've got some great considerations here. It gives me recommendations. The run of show. This is the full agenda and time allocations. Again, these are recommendations and suggestions. It's an 80-20 rule of thumb. If I can get a tool like Manus to do 80% of the work, I'm spending 20% of the time fine-tuning, tweaking, making it my own. That's beautiful. Looking good. Supply checklist. All right. The document looks really good. I'm impressed by the production from Manus here and in the breakdown. So I'm going to pop back over here. One of the other things I like to do is to ensure that anything that I'm producing that's externally facing comes in the context of my mission and what I'm looking to achieve. And I'm sure that would be something similar that's important to you as a wellness owner within your community and how you interact and interface with your community. If we're going to do anything further from here that's external, I want to make sure that it knows who I am. An easy way to do that is you can go to your website. So, for example, my website is amberpass.com. And by looking at my website, a tool like Manus could understand a little bit about me. I don't have to explain it. I can just refer to it. So I'm going to take this and say, hey, I want to see if Manus can understand my website a little bit, and then to use that as information and inputs into the document that was just produced. So I'm going to do that. All right. So what I'm going to do next is give Manus a little bit of context about my business. And the way I'm going to do that is by using my website, amberpass.com. I'm going to give that information to Manus as an additional update and allow it to use that in the context of our next update. All right, so now that we've got our document, the base document in place, what I'm going to do next is to give Manus a little bit of context about my business, amberpass.com, and to use that for the next steps that we're going to take together. So I'm giving it my website information and using that as an additional contextual bit of information. So fire that off. Manus should be able to go out and take a look at my website and to learn a little bit more about my mission and my business. And again, you putting this in the context of your business, very similar way to provide some additional context for a product like Manus to help you give yourself more time back. Excellent. So now I can see that Manus has some additional context about my business, what we're all about, and how that fits into the task here. So pretty quickly, we can now see there's a few different options here from the document's already been delivered, what we originally asked for. But what's cool about a product like Manus, it doesn't just stop there. It doesn't just stop with what we asked it to deliver. It says, hey, there's some more things that we can help with. And for example, drafting a marketing blurb about the website or the workshop, or suggesting different themes based on my business, or even creating social media posts for the workshop. I'm interested in seeing what the workshop theme idea would have and what will come there. So I'll just click on that and see what Manus has to do. Awesome. So I'm getting some good workshop theme suggestions. Again, these are just things for me to consider as I start to plan out the workshop itself. Reference table. I love the way that Manus summarizes the information here. That's very useful to me, and it helps me to, again, get to a level of information fairly quickly. So now that we've got three things that we've already accomplished, we got a prompt from ChatGPT that we could use to feed into a product like Manus to actually create the initial planning documentation. I then used my website to give Manus the deeper context of my business and what we're all about, who we're trying to serve, the impact that we're looking to make in our community. That is now baked into the context, and it can start to give me themes and additional information based on my business and what we're looking to accomplish. So I want to use this one to see what Manus can do on the visual front, since that was another suggestion on offer here for Manus. Creation of a visual mood board for this theme for the workshop that we've co-developed together. So again, as you can see, Manus starts giving us updates on what's being created so that I can track it and understand what's happening. I don't need to know the details of what's going on behind the scenes, but it's often very nice to see the activity that's happening so that if I see it going off track, I can pause it or give some additional coaching or feedback. These are great updates. You can drill down and to see additional information on what's happening behind the scenes. This idea of making the information in the context of your mission as a business is very important. A lot of the feedback that I hear in the market, it's almost a stigma of using AI, and I think that's tied to the generic nature of the ways that AI is often used, or advanced technologies of any sort. No one wants a very robotic experience that doesn't feel personal or on mission for the business. And so this is something that is very important anytime you're interacting with these technologies, is often to look for ways that you can give context on what you're trying to achieve as a business. All right, it looks like Manus has now gotten to the point of composing the mood board. I'm very curious to see what's going to be generated here. Again, this will be something for us to experiment with together. You can see the different tasks here that now it's step 2 of 3 for this particular task that we've asked Manus to help us with. Excellent. So I can see the progress that Manus is making, going through the generation of the mood board and delivering that to me. By clicking on it, I can then get a little preview of what has been generated. So I love the kind of the initial spot, the warmth that's provided here. Very nice. So that's a little inspirational vision board that I can use as I prepare, or maybe even in some of my communications about the event. So again, another lovely deliverable that Manus was able to produce for us with just a little bit of coaching and a little steer. And imagine from here what you could do. You could use Manus to create social media posts that you can review and shape and use on your social media channels. You could even use it to create websites or sign-up forms that you could use to get more engagement on the event. The possibilities are really quite substantial, and we've just touched on a few today. And again, Manus is saying, okay, now what? What would you like to do from here? Some additional considerations and suggestions. Really incredible to imagine where you can go from here and taking it forward. And one thing to wrap up, again, that was step-by-step and structure, that walkthrough. I'll provide all of the prompts that we used in today's discussion. But one of the things I also wanted to highlight was incredible amounts of power in these tools and things that you can do. So here are a few examples that are listed. But if you click on more, you can imagine different types of activities, whether it be the creation of a deeper research, if that's a piece of activity that you're working on as part of your business. It could be a task that occurs on a weekly basis that you can use a product like Manus to schedule, that then runs, it gives you outputs, you can interact with it. Some really powerful tools in addition to what we showed today. Thank you again for spending time with me, looking at how these advanced technologies can help you save time, give you time back to spend in your community and doing what you love within your business. This example of using these advanced technologies like AI to do things like workshop planning are just an example. There are many different variations that I'd love to explore with you. If you're curious about how these technologies can help you in your business and give you more time back, look me up at amberpass.com or you can email me at hello@amberpass.com. Thanks again for your time and have a good day. Take care.